To see you, Colonel.
Thanks, Wilson. Well, Melissa, picking up on your point about other problems that are out there, let's talk about Iran for a few minutes, as that nation is threatening the United States with a, quote, strong reaction if the American government decides to extend sanctions. This after the Iranians committed a number of actions that have not kept with the spirit of the nuclear deal established with the U.S. The Senate, by the way, has already voted in favor of extending those sanctions. We bring in Fox News strategic analyst Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters to talk about this. What should we make? How you doing, Colonel Peters? What should we make of this idea that the Iranians are threatening us with strong action?
Bring it on. The Iranians are so used to getting their way in all things. They have virtually dictated our Middle East policy. Obama has been clinging to this nuclear deal, this awful nuclear deal, so doggedly, because it's his last standing foreign policy legacy, that he's allowed Iran to run roughshod. And I think, to borrow a phrase Melissa just used, there's going to be a new sheriff in town, right, and the Iranians need to figure that out. Now, here's the thing. When the Trump administration comes to office, it would be a mistake for them to immediately abrogate the nuke treaty. Think strategically, use judo, because a lot of our allies would get mad at us if we unilaterally abrogated it. Rather, hammer Iran, stand up to them, Syria, Iraq, the Persian Gulf. No more taking our sailors hostage and embarrassing them, humiliating them. Stand up to them in Yemen and get the Iranians so angry that they break the deal, which is 100% to their advantage. And then we're the good guys and they're the bad guys.
We don't get blamed for it, right?
Right.
To that new sheriff analogy, just to take it one step further, I know that it would be a reference and a first thought to the President-elect Donald Trump, but as to be more specific in his incoming administration, the Defense Secretary, if he gets in and is confirmed for that post, General Mattis, he's tough on Iran, right?
He certainly is, and General Mattis understands the Middle East. He's served there, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. And contrary to that mad dog nonsense, he's a very level-headed, firm guy. He doesn't want to go to war if we don't have to. Right. But if we do have to go to war, he wants to win. The Iranian leadership should be very, very afraid. Their free ride is over.
There's another topic I want to talk to you while we have you here, Colonel Peters, and that's the announcement that we had earlier today of this visit at the end of this month by the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to Pearl Harbor, the first Japanese leader ever to go to Pearl Harbor. He's going to be there on the 27th of this month with President Obama in Hawaii, and supposedly wants to send this message, right, of reconciliation. I know the president went to Hiroshima. Your thoughts on this?
It's about time, isn't it? And we're apparently not going to get a formal apology. But, the world changed on December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese hit us from the air by surprise, went down Battleship Row in Pearl Harbor, sank our battle wagons, the Arizona, enormous loss of life. And we just got by this, by one stroke of dumb luck that day, our carriers were out of the harbor and training. The Japanese didn't get the carriers. That changed the course of the war ultimately. Right. But really, Pearl Harbor, yes, Prime Minister Abe should go. He should apologize. Should have happened by another prime minister. Should have done it generations ago. Didn't. Still, I'm glad he's finally doing it.
These things matter, though. You think? I mean, the gesture, the symbolism of it.
Well, this matters somewhat. What really mattered and infuriated me was President Obama's groveling toward Hiroshima. We weren't the bad guys. The Japanese were. And when we dropped those 2 atomic bombs to end that gruesome war, we saved not only hundreds of thousands of U.S. and Allied lives in an invasion of the Japanese home islands, we saved millions of Japanese lives. But paradoxically, only the fact that Obama went first to Hiroshima enables Abe politically to go to Pearl Harbor now. It matters. The symbolism matters.
Right. Lieutenant Colonel Peters, thank you. It's always good to talk to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Colonel.